final boarding call for flight 1734. All remaining passengers for this flight, please report to gate K43.
Attention, please. Southwest Airlines announces the arrival of Flight 673 from Salt Lake City, arriving at gate F10.
تملي معاك ولو حتى بعيد عني في قلبي هواك
Passengers aboard Anchorbaby Airlines flight to Washington, D.C. Should be a nice flight today. A little bit delayed. Got a lot going on in the world. A little bit delayed. If you could just be calm and entering the plane, make sure you leave plenty of space in the overhead compartments for those coming in behind you. Have some decency. We are still in America. We're in America. I thought we were in I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your pilot doesn't mean to be ranting so early. Let me calm down. Ladies and gentlemen aboard Anchorbaby Airlines flying to Washington, D.C., thank you for boarding. We will be having the flight attendants come down the cabin to get the cabin prepared for takeoff. Thank you very much. Appreciate the patience.
الله عليك يا سيدي قلبك دم
flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for takeoff.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was God. The Word was God. The Word was God. 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 Was
Language. Language.
Was God. Was.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. How you doing? We got a nice Friday ahead. How's your Friday going so far? Taking off out of Memphis, Tennessee, on our way to Washington, D.C., folks. Should be nice weather ahead on this day of rage, day of jihad, they say. We will be navigating the difficult times, as well as plenty of in-flight entertainment in today's flight. This is your captain speaking, the American Anchorbaby. It's a pleasure to have you here today. Flying out of Memphis, Tennessee, on Trump Force One. We're gonna fly above it all this Friday, folks. So kick back and relax. Thank you for flying Nickstream. What's up? Yes, Gunner, Alex, Russell, Nikki, Blake, Birdie Brown, Brian. We have an air marshal on board, folks, so be on your best behavior. Ivana, what's up, cuz? Emperor of Cats, Russell. What's up, Nathan? How you doing, sir? Bob, Steve, use name. Welcome, folks. What's up, Latin A? Street Chronicles. Mr. Mad, what's up, Mr. Mad? Arctic Turn. Hunter Biden, we have Hunter in the chat. Where's Hunter? Folks, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. What's up, Harrison? Covey Clown, Wanderlust, Raymond, yes, Gunna, Red, Dirt Farm, what's up, Troy? Kevin, Hake, Right on. American Anchor, baby. Your captain speaking. We'll be getting into some updates and developments on everything that's been going on. And, of course, bringing it back to human nature as we've been doing this week. Fascinating things are going on. We got some updates. We got some stuff going on domestically as well. Don't forget, we are still in America, and there are things happening here. We'll be getting into some stuff there. I was vindicated by about something. Oh, I had callers calling in about it, talking about Trump is a shill Zionist. So we still rolling with Trump on Trump Force One. We're gonna get into all of it, folks. So thank you. And your calls, of course, we'll be taking calls once we get it to our cruising altitude of 38,000 feet today. That's flight level 380. Once we get it to the cruising altitude, I will be turning off the seatbelt sign and turning on the phone, the air phone, which is a different number. That's 760-515-3855. We'll be taking your calls as well. Thank you. Right on, folks. Right on. All right, let's get situated here. Let's get the whole thing situated here so we can get going. Okay. Right on. What's up, Sion? Are you working tonight? Welcome, Sion. Let me say hi to the folks here, huh? What's up, folks? Let's get the day clouds. We're still flying in the daytime. Let's keep the clouds up. What's up, folks? How's your Friday going? Just saying hi. Got the cam on. Nice. So, I'm rocking the curls. I'm rocking the Semite curls right now. In solidarity to all Semites around the world. All of them. All Semites. All sons of Shem. I don't even know what that means. I'm just joking. I just heard that Semite might mean both Arab and Jew. And yeah. So that's how I'm saying the word Semite. And that might be ignorant, but that's how I'm saying it. What's up, TDS? Russell. Sion works for Spirit Airlines. No, we're not flying Spirit right now. We're flying Trump Force One. As you can see. No, not Spirit Airlines. Nick got the Jerusalem hair. You know, I didn't want to, Nick, you can't fool us. Those are the Columbia curls. Okay, maybe I can't fool y'all. But I was thinking, they both sons of Abraham too, says Will Cole. Nice. Right on. Well, maybe I can't get away with it. Okay. But I could fit in and protect myself. Nick got the Semite curling conditioner. No, this is just my natural hair. After some after some water. If I let it dry a certain way. Oh, I can curl up. I'm around this area here where I'm at in LA, Pico, this area. And it's kind of a Jewish area around here. And there's like a Jewish police force rolling around. They're in these cop cars. They look like cop cars because they're like these Ford Explorer looking cars, and that's the fleet car, I believe, at least here in Los Angeles, California. The fleet car is the Explorer, as well as the Chargers and stuff. But whatever. I'm seeing these Explorers driving around, and they have like Jewish markings, not police markings, and flashing lights. And guys driving these with pit vipers. They look so cool. They got pit vipers looking. The pit vipers, I don't know if the Jews know, but the pit vipers, those are for the alt-righters. Someone tell them that only the alt-right people wear the pit vipers. You guys know what I'm talking about? The pit vipers are these sunglasses that these, if you've seen them out there, I don't know, white nationalist type people wear. In fact, they did it so much that 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, the company, had to disavow white nationalists and racism. They actually did it like a public. They were getting all this money from the racists, and they went in against their customer base and said, yeah, well, guess what, racists, we're not about you. And they had to do like a public statement. Lame pit vipers. That probably just made the so-called racists buy more. Nick doing curly hair tutorials on TikTok. Dang, Ivana, how'd you know? So I'm thinking, do the curls get me the protection, huh? Jewish police in the area? I appreciate it because I never see like actual cops. Ever. Every now and then I'll see one, but I could drive up and down the highway, up and down Hollywood, LA, Mid-City, Hollywood, everywhere, and I'll barely ever see a cop all week. So thank you. Let's just hope these Jews out here in this area are strapped. I hope they are Second Amendment appreciators, and they out here strapped with their silks, with their nice silks, with AR-15s beneath, right? For Jesus. I mean, for Yahweh, whatever, for the community, which I'm in. What's up, Zeus? What's up, Zeus? Welcome, Alex Watts. Welcome, Karen. Hey, how you doing, Karen? You working today, Karen, or are you employed by Anchorbaby Airlines? We only employ the loveliest of ladies. I know Ivana, she's a lovely lady, but she might have been having some trouble last shift. Maybe the ladies could help her out. So these Semites going wild, huh? What shall we get into first? Let's get up to cruising altitude. What's up, Charlie Church? Welcome. Let's get up to cruising altitude. We're in the cockpit. We are currently hovering over just past the 30,000 feet mark. Beautiful clouds beneath us. You know, we should have turned off these lights a while ago. Hopefully the FAA doesn't charge us with a fine once we hit Washington, D.C., but if you don't say anything, I won't. Let me turn off the strobe lights. We're going to need beacon lights, wing lights on, landing lights retracted, taxi lights off. Beautiful. Beautiful. Gotta love flying the Airbus A320neo. Okay. What's up, Will Cole? Welcome. Used name says, just let us know when we deployed the parachutes and we are over our target. You know what we are here for. What are you talking about, used name? I think I might have to disavow that. Are you celebrating the Day of Rage here on Anchorbaby Airlines? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, used name? Are you appreciating this Day of Rage or something like that? Huh? Because these Semites going wild. The world is an angry place, like Trump said. What's up, Carver? The world is an angry place. And he's just right about that. And these past few days have beyond proven that. Heck yeah, I'm working tonight. Everyone getting tipsy, says Karen. Karen is an overserver. Clearly she's telling us she's about to, you don't tell the boss, Karen, when you're going to overserve the folks. But we have another flight, lovely flight attendant on board, Karen. Thank you. Uniforms in the back, ladies. Can you show her to the gallery? What's up, Rome? Welcome, Rome 13. So, these Semites going wild. Like I was saying, these past few days, it's been days of rage. They say today's the day of rage, right? See if we can report some news here. Day of rage, day of jihad. Washington Post, Hamas. Never again. Hamas calls for a day of rage protests. There's heightened, elevated, Hamas day of rage protests break out in the Middle East and beyond. Incredible scenes, really, when you really look at this. Look at this crowd. Iraqis hold a mass rally supporting the Palestinians. You seen this? Crowds. And I told you this was going to happen a couple days ago. You know, I was telling you that these Arab nations, what a fascinating relationship that has been put on display these past few days between the governments and the people. You know, you got Trump and Biden out here actually making some headway in this whole, you know, Middle East, Palestine, Israel peace talks, doing some historic work, getting these Arab nations to, you know, accept it. Whatever you think about that, the Arab governments were willing to do it, and that is just by definition a more stable region. But the people aren't going to take it, and they took to the streets. Like I said, they've taken to the streets en masse with a day of rage. They're calling it now. I don't want to say what, you know. These people could be just out here, just supporting the Palestinians, right? As they understand their plight or something. But it really has been a day of rage. And we've seen scenes of these protesters saying off-color things. Really not about facts, but really about just hate, you know. Painting every single person with a broad stroke. And we're seeing the fact that they're even out there protesting like that, right? You know it's emotion and ego involved. So they're out there and they're demanding action. They're demanding action, and these are these big Arab nations. So when you have their constituents, your people out there basically demanding that you do something, I guess we can't have peace. You just can't have peace. And you can understand these people out here the way you can understand Jews out there fighting for themselves. But, you know, it's a mess. So, day of rage. They're out there protesting. And I'm seeing them out there, right? They're yelling, saying, gas the Jews. You're saying, kill every Palestinian, da-da-da. And I'm seeing some incredible things coming out of, you know, the leadership of these countries. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 says Israel just dropped like 50 bombs in 30 minutes. And so thank you, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. And if you don't know, Israel, you know, they gave an evacuation order basically to the people of Gaza. 24 hours, they told them to move. And there's been, it's been a fog of war, back and forth, this side, that side, saying this or that. And we're going to get into some of them. They're talking about charred babies, beheaded babies and all that. There was a saga that happened on Twitter with that. Karen Williams is popping bottles for everyone, putting the company under. But it's okay. It's a day of jihad, day of rage. And this is pop one for the Semites, all the Semites. Thank you, Karen. Look, they got this day of rage. And I wanted to say this first, and then we can get into a bunch of stuff. I noticed how we've clearly demonstrated on my show the past few days, and this has been just plainly obvious, that there are at least some Palestinians, people who call themselves Hamas, Arab people in the other nations, who have judged the Jews, and they have decided what's in their hearts, each one, every single one, you know, putting aside, you know, this or that, what's going on with this or that nation. As a nation, you know, nations go through things, and so it's not strange to say that Jews are acting a certain way. But back to what I was saying, the Arab nations, all I've demonstrated these past few days very clearly judging the hearts of the Jews. But I've also shown you how there are politicians in the Israeli Knesset and different areas, even U.S. politicians and people, you know, commenters, who have judged every single Palestinian and every single person in Gaza. They've judged their hearts, and they know, and they could read their minds, and they know that they believe in their hearts there is not a single person innocent in Gaza. And so I'm left wondering, how do they know that? How is it that someone can know that? And they point to elections. They elected Hamas. But if they had elections, that means there are people who voted against Hamas. How do you know every single person in Gaza is, guilty? And how can any Palestinian and all that say that about every Jew, right? And I remember the basic principle here about love and stuff. And for any of you wondering the same things that I'm wondering, how can Israel judge every Palestinian heart in that way? What an evil thing to do. For everyone who's agreeing with me and everyone who understands what I'm saying and has the same question, do you do that? Is there any time in your life where you do that? And it's important because I don't know about so much of these things, but I know about this. And that's pure radicalism. Pure, true radicalism. Some people say talking about Jews is radical. Criticizing Jews or Jewish power, blah, 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 is radical. And if you can clearly explain something to me, I don't care how it sounds. You know what I mean? Even if you call it Jewish, call it Muslim, call it whatever, call it black, call it white, it's not going to offend me. If it's true and and you can explain it clearly, that's one thing, right? But then there's another radicalism, a true radicalism, where you think you are God and you can read the hearts of others. That is a big mistake and a dark path to follow, because it leads to these Jews saying that every single Palestinian is guilty and basically justifying to do anything to them. I don't know what remains. The world is waiting to see what they'll do. And it also leads you to these Palestinians and everybody, all the anger and all the hate in the world. And so you're welcome to call in the show. I believe we're at 38,000 feet, 760-515-3855. If you disagree, if you have this or that to say about this or that person. But ultimately, I don't know about that stuff, but I know about this. You go around judging all hearts. You're no better than than Israel judging every Palestinian, or vice versa. These Semites. You're no better, no different. And we can't lose the plot. We can't lose love, because you can't fight back any other way. There's no other way to fight back against evil. And you may want to make a distinction and say, there is a time and place for blaming this or that person. I would say, I gotta say, guys, I'm pretty convinced that you're blind. Because even look at Jesse. Jesse talks about blacks, and people say, oh, he talks about this or that person, but he doesn't blame the blacks or the whites or anything. He puts the responsibility on them for whatever it is he's talking about, but he doesn't blame blacks for the destruction of America. Or you know what I mean? So let's stay Christians, huh? Let's not turn Semitic. Let's not turn Semitic and Old Testament here. Let's not go Muslim or Jewish, apparently. And stay Christian, stay in reality, and understanding, etc., etc. Huh? Am I making some sense? Come on. So we're going to get into some of the things here. Some of the things I already mentioned. Amazing. I see calls coming in. Thank you for your calls. 760-515-3855. The lines are unmuted. Let's get in the cockpit here. We're in the cockpit. And I believe we are at 38,000 feet. You got to love it. Let's speed up the plane. We want to get up to, faster. We should be a lot faster, basically. I have a call. Let me get to the call as well.
From
God.
Hey, I have a caller. You're on the air, and your name and where are you calling from?
How's it going, Nick? It's Scott in Arizona.
Scott, Arizona. Welcome, sir. Thank you for your call.
How you doing today?
All is well, sir. No complaints. Flying high on this day of rage.
Right. Hey, so I wanted to talk actually about the Fallen State guest a little bit.
Nice. Anybody catch the Fallen State? I'm a little I gotta say, I'm a bad. I haven't caught it quite yet, but by all means, you're more than welcome to.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I know. We got all caught up here in the office with some interesting
The
conversations.
timing is just beautiful, right?
It really
Jesse
was.
Said, I didn't even know this was going to happen.
No, we had no clue that Israel would would go into a war.
Oh wait, you guys aren't part of the Illuminati that knows everything that's going to happen next?
Bro, it came down the pipeline. I mean, wait, what? We got the word coming down the pipeline weeks ago, so we booked it. Wait, sorry, am I on air? Am I live? Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about just something random, like not dive too deep into it. I thought it was very beautiful, and if you can see, you can see, and if you can't, you can't, right? But one thing I wanted to bring light on is when Jesse asked him about infidels, he instantly said, "What does this word mean? This is not a Muslim word." But the guy was like speaking almost perfect English the whole time. I thought that was a really good mental move right there.
I actually saw that part. I know what part you're talking about.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Okay, so
I thought so too.
Yeah. I mean, clearly he's playing a mind game, or if he's not, maybe I'm judging him. Maybe he just is confused and didn't understand. But seemed like a shift. Well, all of a sudden my English isn't so good. What does this word that's translated directly out of my holy book mean?
Yeah.
But shortly after that, Jesse was talking about, well, in the Quran it says, you can like hurt the infidel, lie to the infidel. He's bringing up the idea of taqiyya.
Yes.
Right? And the guy's like, that's not in the Quran. And then he brings up the idea that they have carbon-dated Qurans all across the earth to prove that they go back to, back in the day when the original manuscripts were written, which I thought was really interesting because carbon dating proves that the earth is older than 8,000 or 5,000 years, whatever the Muslims believe it is. So they deny carbon dating when it proves the earth is older than their book says it is. But then they support it when it proves their book is a certain age.
Interesting. And so help me understand, because I remember that part. I did see that clip, but what was he saying? Was he saying that the original books, which we know they're original because of this carbon dating, they don't say this thing about infidels?
Yeah, he's basically saying that, because these books we know are from, they haven't been altered from all this time ago, right? They haven't been altered through history. And we know that because they're carbon dated. And they don't mention this idea of lying or hurting the infidel. So that's just simply not in the Quran. And it's an interesting game because when you look it up, this is a common game Muslims play. When there's a non-Muslim audience, they say, there's only one Quran, there's only one version, it's never been edited. And then when they're talking with Muslims, they say, just like Christians, like, you got to be careful because not all Qurans are the same. You got to read the right version.
No way. And that's funny that you say the Christians kind of do that.
Yeah, right. Like King James
I've heard that with Christians.
NIV.
They'll say, the Bible is the one Bible. God gave us the Bible. I've heard the same things.
They got to choose which version. But the NIV is the right one. But the King James is the right one.
Right. That's so interesting.
That's because if you can see, you can see. And if you can't, well, you can't.
Very interesting, man. Thank you. And honestly, about this, like I've heard similar things about Jews, right? The Talmud and all that. And there's something about these religions out there. And they
know what the goy is? The goy.
Right, I've heard goy. I've heard these things, and I've looked it up and found certain publications and articles that talk about that. And I've met Jews who've told me, yes, I've met Jews who told me that, never seen that, doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. Same thing goes with the Muslims. But so the only thing I've ever been able to gather about this whole thing about taqiyya and these weird parts of their books is that it's really hidden, and they don't want to tell me. Because I get both answers.
Yeah, both religions have this similar thing with Catholicism where their holy book isn't their actual holy book, right? Like the Torah isn't what the Jews practice and worship. They actually practice and worship the Talmud, right? Is that it? And then,
I've heard this.
But it's like only the rabbis have access to the Talmud, and that's their job, is to protect it. And then the Catholics
the Talmud is the oral tradition.
Well, there's
I think.
literal printed books, but no one's allowed to read them but rabbis.
Oh, wow.
And then the Apocrypha is the same thing for Catholicism, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
interesting.
oh, well, yeah, the Bible's right, but the Apocrypha is more right. So we're going to
we
follow
got these
that.
really, really right people with the right credentials to tell you about it.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
no,
And
they're
because
extra
they're-
right. That's so funny. So the
Right.
Apocrypha is like the Talmud for the Christians? Or the Catholics?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for Catholics, yeah.
And did the Muslims have a similar thing? Or is it they only have the Quran
yeah,
and
they
it's already
do.
messed up?
And he kept referring to it, and I can't remember what it's called in the moment, but they do have like a set of books and that's where a lot of these ideas come from, like the whatever 72 virgins or whatever it is, allegedly come from these other series of texts that are kept behind the lock and key, which is what all the religions used to do, right? Like, you couldn't read the Bible, you couldn't read the Torah, you couldn't read the Quran.
Right.
You could only be told what it says when you show up to your weekly service. And then eventually those books became released, and then they're like, no, but there's these other secret books. It's just
That
it's
is
just
so
power,
interesting.
right? Evil's always going to hide behind the mask of good.
Yep.
So if you can convince someone something is good, that's the easiest place for evil to hide.
That is so clear, man. So thank you for that. Yeah, that sounds very clear. And it's so interesting
One
that
last
happens. It seems to have happened to everybody. In my head canon, in my ignorant kind of view, without really knowing, my view of the religions is, somewhere they like all people were given a gift from God on how to communicate with Him, His Word. They call it His Word, not to say that it's the Bible, but His Word, right? Man was given His Word, and then somewhere along the way they corrupted it. They come out with the Talmud. They came out with the whatever the Muslims did, the Apocrypha. It reminds me of prayer, and I think this is why people say this about Jesse, about the silent prayer, and Jesse, they'll be like, oh, it's Western, it's too Eastern for me, Eastern and meditation. But I think what they're missing is that these Eastern meditators, they too are calling back to the original prayer that was muddied and cut off from the source somewhere along the way in human history, and somewhere along the way they just started calling it meditation. But then the Christians here, they judge the meditators because it's like foreign, but the meditators, it's like a callback to the original prayer that God gave us.
Yeah, and was it Jesus that said it? I don't remember, but it's in the Bible somewhere. It's like one man's faith allows him to eat the hog, and one man's faith only allows him to eat vegetables, but both men have a place in heaven. Because it's literally not about all this physical worldly stuff, right? It's about our hearts and how we actually do or don't receive the truth. Absolutely. And okay, so I used to do like guided, right? I was like super out there hippie dude,
I remember
with burning communities, all that. So I used to do tons of guided meditations. Like, I used to get paid to do guided meditations, private group, like custom ones that I would write myself, and ultimately to explain the difference in the three worlds of meditation is, so you have like Eastern meditation, Western meditation, right, is to like fill the mind with an object or a single pointed focus, right? That's what Jesse says. Well, to me, meditation means to like focus on something, to only think about one thing, right? So that's like Western meditation. That's what the word means in our cultural context. Eastern meditation is pretty much the opposite. It's to like disassociate and clear the mind of any perceptions, but ultimately that creates a void that's filled with like temptation. Right?
So interesting.
And then
it's crazy how judgment has kept us from just beautiful, simple things.
Yeah, and then the silent prayer, or like what Jesus taught as meditation, or whatever you want to call it, is kind of in between both things, right? Because in Eastern meditation, they teach you to like see the thoughts and let them go, so that you disassociate with them and you don't continue to associate with them.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, in the silent prayer, you want to associate with them so that you see the association, right? The idea is to learn about the inner self and the inner world and understand it to conquer it, or to allow God to conquer it. Whereas in Eastern meditation, you're actually like practicing running away from the inner world, and it becomes stronger. You actually become more entrenched in your false beliefs because you're not able to even confront them inside yourself. And so that kind of explains why like the yoga metaphysical world is so lost, because they're constantly disassociating with the things they're attacked by, and they believe that they're not attacked.
Interesting. Like a drug. No awareness.
Because they're ultimately allowing that identification to go deeper within themselves, because they're not seeing it in their imagination. So it's
that
going
is so
deeper into
interesting.
their imagination.
I think I know what you mean, because I've met people who literally will stretch like that, but they're like, they talk about it like they're getting closer to God.
Well, it's the same thing the intellectual does, right? By like thinking they understand something, they can't see that they've actually imagined themselves into deeper confusion. And I think the interview today on the Fallen State is like a perfect example of that, because Muslims are the most intellectual religion.
They're so physical, sensational.
Crazy.
You know what I mean by like into the senses. So true.
Right. And they're so about like facts, but then their facts are like very curated.
You're right.
And very distorted, right? And it's very interesting. Like in the interview today, he wouldn't admit that the United Kingdom or that London is a white culture. He literally wouldn't admit. He's like, no, it's less than 50% white now, so it's not a white country.
Which is
That's
just
a fact. I just said a fact.
Which is just totally ignoring reality. Right. I wonder if you turn it around and tell them, if we just started immigrating to, I don't know, Iran or whatever, and made it, majority white, would he accept the same thing?
Yeah, right.
Or Jewish.
Yeah, right. So I want to bring up one last thing real quick.
By all means.
So when I first kind of learned, I grew up around a lot of Jewish people, right? I dated a very Jewish girl in high school. She was Hasidic, and a bunch of my friends are Hasidic, and I know a lot of Jewish people here in Arizona. Love them all, right? But I've seen my whole life, and before I could love them, I judged them for it. But I always saw, like, these people are so angry, and they truly hate me because I'm not Jewish. It's very strange.
Oh, you had this thought? You had this thought prior to all this?
Oh, yeah, like my whole life. Like, okay, here's an example. I was dating this Jewish girl in high school. My last name is a Jewish name, but I'm not Jewish, right? So every single Jewish person she introduced me to, they'd be like, oh, you're Jewish, right? And I'd be like, oh, no, I'm actually not. And then they went from this extremely excited state to like, oh, well, I couldn't care at all.
That is, I gotta say, that is the reason I'm smiling and kind of laughing is because I had a similar experience, but I don't want to tell you, yeah, dude, you got that was racism, bro. Like,
no, I don't think it was racism. It's
right.
just that they have an in-group preference that drives their emotions to the point where they get excited when they think you are, and then when you're not, they couldn't care less about you as a person. Right? I went
to nearby. It was a holiday, and so it was a sushi place nearby. It was the only place open, and I went to get some sushi, and there was a bit of a line, and I was standing behind a Jewish guy, and he starts speaking Hebrew or something to me, and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't understand. He's like, oh, you're not Jewish? I thought you were Jewish. And his whole attitude changed, kind of similar to how you're describing, but I think that was my mind telling me what he was thinking afterwards. You know what I mean? There may have been some this deflating and all that, but I think my mind exaggerated it.
Yeah, and of course, like if I had an emotional reaction,
but I've encountered this group preference too. You were saying if you had emotional,
I mean, if I had an emotional reaction towards them, that's on me. But that doesn't like I witnessed them go, oh, that's your last name, and then to an extreme state of excitement, and then realize, oh, that means you're not Jewish, or that doesn't mean you're Jewish, and then go to an extreme state of unexcitement. So
we call those Gentiles,
right? Right. Well, so what I ultimately want to bring up is I used to, and I still see it, but like, do you see how like the Jew that cries anti-Semite in America is the exact same thing or spirit as the black that cries racist in America?
Oh, 1,000,000%, man.
Okay,
No
and
one
I
can
think
convince
it's
me
super-
otherwise of that. That's just so true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's so true. It hurts.
And it's so interesting because like they even have like the slavery thing in common, and
Yeah.
they share a lot of parallels in the story to where like I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that the black story was given to them by the Jewish culture, right? Through storytelling. And I think that it's literally was so successful that that's where the Black Hebrew Israelite movement comes from. They're like, yeah, we're so in suffering that must have been us the whole time.
Oh, I think
that
I'm
make
understanding
sense?
what you're saying. Like,
Right? Like,
just adopting that spirit is enough. And
Yeah.
but they took the joke too far, at least in the eyes of the Jews. It's like, wait a second, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, you could be oppressed,
But
but wait a
literally
second, why are
now-
you're acting too close to us?
right. And like the Black Hebrew Israelites are like, no, they're not the real Jews. We're the real Jews. We're the ones that were enslaved throughout all the world, and we still are. See the blacks in the world today.
But I
And
think
so
that's
they've literally
I think you're right. I mean, you're making
they're
sense.
trying to like steal the culture in a sense.
I think that's just like you know, that's just like
It's the spirit.
the spirit of evil, right?
Yeah.
Satan's been a victim since the beginning.
Right. And then lately I've started to realize that it has nothing to do with the Jews or the blacks. It's simply the spirit of victimization. You identify with
Dang.
victimization, you're just going to keep
Yeah.
going until you're like, I'm the most oppressed
Yeah.
person ever. You know?
Yep. I think
and
you're
that's,
right, man.
That's what the Muslims think. That's what the Jews think. That's what the blacks think. That's what the Christians think.
Yes.
That's what the Asians think. Like everyone thinks that.
They all think that. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. And we get like we do have a strange fear in talking about some of them, but you know, and you know, ADL, anti-Semitism, and all that has done its own work in silencing that whole thing. But you are making just so clear sense, man. That's just clear.
Yeah, and
that's not judgment.
the word-
I'm not hearing it.
the word
if it's
goyim-
there, you're hiding it. You know what I mean? Because that's just clear. That's clear what you're talking about.
No, I love everyone, and I want them to see it for themselves, you know. And because I could be wrong, just because I see it doesn't mean I'm right about it. But the way I see it, like the word goy or goyim is like the same thing as the word infidel or whatever the Muslim word is. I looked it up earlier. I can't remember it. And is the same thing as any word that's used to separate them from us. You know what I mean? Like that spirit of separation.
I'm following.
Like when I was a hippie, we used to call people 3Ds. Oh, they're so 3D. They're so third dimensional.
Describe
right?
that to
And
me.
we're like, we're better because we're enlightened.
Like a
We're
different, like a
fourth
higher
dimensional beings.
sense of higher reality, a higher.
Yeah, like we're literally on the path to evolving to our crystalline bodies.
That is funny. I'm calling people 3D from now on. I never
you're
knew
so
that.
3D, bro.
I didn't know the hippies had slurs.
Oh, bro, the hippies have
That's a
slurs.
nasty
well, the
slur,
same thing
man.
is like
You're basically saying-
globe-tard, right? Like flat earthers have slurs. Like everyone.
That's a nasty
There's-
slur.
there's-
You're saying I'm this like lower life form.
Yeah, bro, you're a 3D. You're so 3D.
That's
all you see-
dehumanizing
and then, like,
language.
and then think about it like, what is it? Who calls people normies?
The conservatives?
Is it the conservatives? I don't
Who
even
does that? Like
remember
just
anymore.
internet people, Zoomers?
Normies are just like people that buy into mainstream
Yep,
media,
yep.
and like NPCs, like conservatives
Right,
call
right.
liberals NPCs. Like
Yep.
that's a slur, and it's like we all know that we're trying to like poke at them
Yep.
and make slight at them,
That
and
is
you know, like
interesting point, man.
it's just funny.
Yeah, either let all slurs or none of them. Nice. Very interesting,
Yeah,
sir. Very
and
interesting.
like, man, I miss the Nick stream because I did identify as a Nicker.
Hey, that's right. My audience were Knickers. I forgot about that. You
So
know,
if we're Knickers,
yeah.
what are the
my
non-Knickers?
core audience is they'll always be Knickers. How about that? My Knickers and my Nickerettes.
That's funny. Nickerettes.
Yeah,
They're isn't that like a quit smoking gum?
it is. You know, the reason when I early Nick stream when I was calling my audience Knickers and Nickerettes, I was referring to that that Wu-Tang song. It's old dirty ODB. He's like, I might, but he doesn't say knickers. He says something else.
Yeah.
Well, right on, Scott. Well, appreciate your call. Last thing you want to say before we move the wheels here?
Much love, everybody. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, sir. Take care and call me again. Nice. All right. You can call in 760-515-3855. Amazing stuff here. You got some funny chats here. I want to make sure I didn't. Muslims angry. Here's one from Hake, the HakeReport.com in the chat. Muslims angry, strict, and into sex in heaven. The Jews, their mama, emotional and into sex on earth. Christianity is just right. Like Goldilocks. Rise above anger, emotions, and sex. Right on. Christianity is in the Goldilocks zone of religion. Very cool. All right, y'all. I'm just going to take a little break here. Okay, just hold on. Kick back, relax. Turn on the AC, go in the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have a nice show. We got some nice in-flight entertainment ahead. I also see calls still coming in. I will be getting to calls. Thank you for the patience. Just hold up.
تحت الرماني حبي حكاني وسمعني غناني يا عيوني وتغزل فيا سمعني غناني يا عيوني وتغزل فيا قلبي يا قلبي انت عينيا كسر الخواطر يا ولدي ما هان عليا وايام عالبال بتعن أيام عالبال بتعن وتروح تحت الرماني حبي حكاني سمعني غناني يا عيوني وتغزل فيا وسمعني غناني يا عيوني وتغزل فيا والظل بتلوح والقلب مجروح سمعني غناني يا عيوني وتغزل فيا وسمعني غناني يا عيوني وتغزل فيا
Twin Glock, bitch, you ain't a thug, you ain't in jam pop. Red dot, I'ma keep on stomping till it's neck pop. Fizz walk, I can't be caught slipping, so the fizz hot. Red drop, I quit popping sticks, so sipping red drop. Twin Glock, bitch, you ain't a thug, you ain't in jam pop. Red dot, I'ma keep on stomping till it's.
All right, folks. Thank you. I had some calls coming in. You can call in. I didn't get to you. Taking a little break. 760-515-3855. Welcome, folks. Welcome back. I see the call coming back in. Thank you for that. Thank you for the patience. Let's run this call, and then I want to show you something that's going on. All right? Caller, you're on the air. Your name and where you calling from?
What up, Nick? It's Nate in Illinois.
What's up, Nate? How you been, man?
Doing well. How are you?
All is well, man. No complaints.
Dude, that amazing, that Fallen State episode was amazing.
Yeah, I keep hearing it. I gotta definitely watch the whole thing.
Bro, yeah, check out that live chat too, man. That was just so eye-opening to see all the Muslims coming to Jesse the same way that liberals do.
Yep. Fascinating.
Like, I was like, whoa.
So what was going on in the chat for those who missed it?
They're just like, they just said the same exact stuff that liberals say when they don't like Jesse. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know if you've seen that before in chat. But
Yeah,
like,
I'm going to have to check out the live chat
is,
replay.
Like his brain's lagging or something like that. And
Yeah.
then like, just like silly things, but like immature sleeper, like they're asleep type of thing.
Right.
So
We got
they don't wanna
sleeper
see
cells
that
in the chat.
And then another thing, I don't know if the previous caller mentioned it. It was a great call, by the way. He was talking about the episode too, but I've started to notice how these Muslims, they like know so much about the Bible. It's like, and they try to poke holes in it. It's like, what's the point? What are you gaining?
Yeah.
Like, are you on a jihad? Bro? Get out of here.
That is that is an interesting observation. It kind of reminds me of haters that call Jesse, and they're not Christian, but they're like, but the Bible says this or that.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, just one more thing.
Or atheists. Atheists do the same thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then, with the Israel-Palestine, that whole, like, I stand with Israel, I stand with Palestine. It's like, bro, you're sitting in a gamer chair. You're not standing up for shit.
You're in a gamer chair, man. You're in a gamer chair. Wake up.
Excuse me. But, like, you're like, it's just so ridiculous. Like, these people, like, the people are retarded like that.
The people are retarded. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about the guest? Do you think he was being, was he committing 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 on the fallen state?
I don't know what that is.
That means I believe that's what I heard is the religious sanction to lie to non-believers in the Quran.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
He was
yeah.
𒒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 all over that.
With that poop-eating grin on his face. like, bro, like he just like exposed himself to people who know. But like now I can see what's going on around me a lot more clearly after that episode. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to you guys. That was amazing.
Came in at perfect timing too. It's so crazy.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Like, yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it, folks. Muhammad Ali on the FallenState.tv with Jesse. That was today. You can check it out.
I think he was in live chat too, because I said Muhammad al-Beta, and then he was like, "Come debate me, coward."
Like all those Muslims that are like in that guy's kind of like world and industry, they're like that. They're like, "Oh yeah, debate me. Let's go." Even the smallest
like,
guy,
I can keep my beliefs to myself. Like, I don't need to go around converting people.
I remember I messaged Brother Dean, who's got a huge following, and I'm like this little guy Instagram with just like one like no followers, and I'm like, I want to set up a debate. Like, let's go, let's do it, let's debate. And I didn't even tell him who it was. Jesse doesn't. Like they're ready to go. They're ready to go.
All right, man. That's and one more thing on Israel-Palestine.
Yes.
I heard this somewhere. I don't mean to be parroting it, but apparently there was an armistice proposal coming from Israel to Palestine that the prime minister, president then failed to sign. So they are somewhat in the just doing what they're doing. Like Israel has not agreed to peace, or Palestine has not agreed to peace.
Yeah, I think that's just a fact. I think people will go. I'm pretty sure that's just a fact, right? Like people will go straight to, wow, that's Zionist propaganda. But I mean, can we talk about facts here? You know, like without you know, you guys have heard me the past few days. I'm not supporting either side, but like facts are like these people. For example, Hamas, you know, uses, you know, they use like hospitals and stuff to hide in and all that kind of stuff. So these are messed up people.
They're hiding behind civilians. Like they're cowards. And further, whatever. I had something else, but anyway, I'm gonna head out. Keep those wheels moving, and listeners, grab the like button by the wrist, but don't bruise it.
Hey, right on, sir.
All right, buddy.
Thank you for your call, and call me again.
Of course.
Nice. Hey, chat. I was saying, Brother Dean. You know, Brother Dean may be referring to a different guest. When I was saying Dean, I meant Eddie Dean, Deen, Eddie Dean, and that was a guest on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, The Dean Show, Eddie Dean, and Eddie 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 is his full name. I believe Eddie 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. He's like kind of like that UFC fighter who's a Muslim, but he looks like, I don't know, like this. What's his name? Khabib. Great fighter, Khabib.
Yes, Gunner.
Yeah, this is my Zelensky. A great fighter, Khabib. Okay, so that's Eddie Dean. That's who I was talking about. I have a caller on the air. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, Gunner. Calling from Chicago.
We got Yes Gunner in the house. What's up, sir? How you been?
How you doing?
All is well, sir. No complaints.
Yeah, I was wanting to comment on the fallen state.
Nice. Yes, by all means.
Guess it was. I was watching a glimpse of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but there was an interesting point. Not an interesting point, but there was something he said where Jesse had asked him why isn't he in his own country.
Mm-hmm.
To what the guest commented and said, "Well, I got to be out here." I think he was in the UK. I got to be out here and preach. But then he was backtracking and going to where Jesse had asked him, why doesn't these Muslim countries allow for Christians to go out and convert? Well, because it's not allowed, he was saying. And it was just like, I think it was like a bit hypocritical from him.
Right.
From his stance for him to say, well, I got to be out here in London or the UK to convert people to Islam. So if other Christians go to Muslim countries and try to convert them to Christianity, it's not allowed. It's illegal. And I was just like, all right, well, what's this guy's just. It was pretty interesting to see that.
That's super interesting.
That was pretty.
It's super strange because I see this a lot where there's like a two-tiered morality for the people, for foreigners versus America. They seem to have adopted this, what is it, progressive Democrat notion of this is, America's just an idea. But their nation is a people, and you can't mess with that because that would be wrong. But, that same morality can't be applied here to white people and et cetera. It's very strange.
Yeah, and
I'm almost left wondering, you have to be either like actually stupid or you're being evil and having a two-tiered morality on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you arrive to that and think differently for different people? But I may be underestimating the brainwashing.
It's their religion at the end. It's not. It's all comes from the Abraham religion, as you want to say. Because let's be truthful. They believe in Abraham.
Right.
That's where everything originates from.
Absolutely.
Judeo-Christian or Islam. It's not. Something must have happened down the line where everything got split. And obviously, we're not going to know.
Good point.
But that was it was interesting when Jesse was telling him, well, you're coming to, how Jesse talks. You're coming to the white man's country, and you're, and guy was, oh, it's not white no more. It's
wow.
Whites are a minority, and I was like, what? Like, were you justifying, culture? Because culturally, UK is Anglo-Saxon. It's white.
What a hater!
It was. Yeah, what a hater, yeah.
I mean, you have to have love for white people. Don't you want to see their country continue? What you're talking about is an eradication of them. Yeah. And the reason he's so defensive about Christian preaching in his country is because he knows that. To some level, but I understand what you're saying. He's repeating what his religion has taught him.
I don't know if you know this, but Indonesia is the country with the most Muslims in the world. And when you really think about it, when you think about like Muslims, you think about like, the Middle East. But yeah, in reality, Indonesia is the country with the most Muslims. I think they got.
Oh yeah, that's
the
true.
most in the world, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And they really, really govern by Sharia law over there. They have corporal punishment, that sort of thing. But the one thing I really wanted to call about was this Jewish thing. Like, it's just everywhere, man. You can't really. It wasn't. You got to pick a side. You got to pick a side, and I like your take how you were saying it. It's like you got to be neutral. You have to if you give in to one side, you're evil for that. 'Cause it's innocent people on both sides, whether we want to believe it or not. It's the leaders in power that are advocating for war and advocating for the destruction of Palestine. Or I don't know, man.
Thank you for that.
It's getting a little iffy, you know. Cause
people want to be tough and say,
oh, you shouldn't be a fence sitter, especially now. But I'd say it's in these moments we have to be as measured as, like, really, really be on it about if you're going to say something, be serious and realize your implications. You know what I mean? If anything, now is the perfect time to be measured and careful, because emotions are high and people want war.
Dude, I met people when I was in grade school where they're Palestinian refugees and they're anti-Jewish, you know, and I was a kid listening to this stuff. I was like, oh, you know, and then it was like that was that point of view. So what I'm thinking is this kid is from a refugee from Palestine. Isn't now like I don't even know the kid's name anymore. You know, probably don't know, lost touch, but. These were some of the things that we would ask. Oh, like, do you guys hate Jews and stuff? And they're all, we freaking hate them. And it was pretty like, now, you know.
So you've encountered this?
Wow, like that. Yeah.
Even back in the day or whatever.
I'm an adult. I'm thinking about this. I was like, damn, that's like, that type of mentality that they have. It's very, in Palestine, you're anti-Jewish. In Israel, you're anti-Palestine. And it's never going to end, man. And
right.
We're at the start.
Toxic. It's pure toxic. Anger kills.
And there's a lot of disinformation. This whole, like, 40 babies were beheaded and then they turn out to be false. And you don't even know, man. What is real? You know, what is
right. There should be people examining themselves right now. People who are on Twitter saying they beheaded 40 babies. Now it's time to genocide all Palestinians. You know, you literally tweeted that and you didn't even know if that was a real thing. Like, you got to be careful. So, and there's people out here saying, there's people out here criticizing anyone who's talking like me, saying, hey, let's be measured, blah, blah, blah. They're saying, okay, if you talk like that, you're with Hamas. You know what I mean?
I have a question.
Yes, by all means.
Should it matter to say, oh, I'm Christian, or I'm Muslim, or I'm Jewish? Does it matter to others what you are? Do you have to put it out there?
I'm not sure if I understand your question. I think in general, not really, unless, I mean, like, if, for example, if someone asked me, I'd tell them I'm Christian. But I don't feel the need to go around proclaiming it, and I think in general, most people who do are doing it in the wrong spirit. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, blatantly, if someone asks, tell them. But if you're out there just meeting people, oh, I'm this, you know, I think that's a little cringe, man. You know, keep it to yourself unless somebody asks. But that's stuff I wanted to say, man.
Thank you, yes, Gunner. Thanks for being for the level-headedness. Appreciate that, sir.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good show, man. I'll be in the chat.
No problem. Yes, Gunner. Call me again.
All right. Take care.
Nice. Right on. Okay. Now let's get into something here, okay? We've taken some nice calls. I do appreciate the callers. We're talking about so much hate and all this. I wanted to show you an example of that. Because I've shown you these examples, these crazy Muslims out here, okay? And I've shown you both sides. I've shown you the Palestinians. It's crazy. But I really wanted to kind of really highlight the spirit of what I'm talking about here. I started off the show telling you about I was saying it seems like there's some in Israel who seem to have judged every Palestinian, and they somehow can read their hearts, and they somehow have decided that there is not a single innocent person in Palestine, in those Palestinian people, blah, blah, blah. And I was saying, if you agree with me in what I'm saying, if you agree with that statement, How can Israel judge the heart of every Palestinian? If you agree with me, examine yourself and see if you do that. So if you notice, you do that. People do that with, their friends, family, people they say they love. They judge hearts. Okay? Do you paint a whole, do you say, that's the wisdom and love behind not all, but most. You might cringe and think, oh, whatever, Jesse, but there's a wisdom in that because it's true. Not all, but most. Okay. So if you agree with that notion, how can Israel judge every Palestinian? And you agree with that whole opening about you're no better if you think you could judge the hearts of others. This is the spirit that I'm talking about. I want to show you a tweet by a woman named Bethany Mandel. And now Bethany she's a Jewish lady, and I believe she was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, actually. Bethany Mandel, conservative author, by the way. Conservative author Bethany Mandel. Let me show you, in fact, she was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Legendary. Conservative author Bethany Mandel is left speechless by JLP. What's awesome is basically, I'm telling you, she says she's a conservative, but when talking to Jesse, she was I titled this video myself, in fact. She said she was left speechless. She thought he was a hateful person, in fact, if I remember, because of the things he was saying about women and stuff.
Men with my girlfriends, and one would hope that men don't brag about assaulting women with their.
It's not assault to say that you're sexually attracted to a woman. It's not assault.
This is a conservative woman, by the way, apparently. So, that's so funny. Bethany Mandel, conservative woman, reveals herself to be a liberal.
Whatever he said, it wasn't
in a way that is not appropriate against their will.
But that's not assault, though. You guys take things. No, it's not. How's that assault to say you're going?
What's up, Frederick?
In that manner,
women say that about men.
What's up, Uriel? Point fire. Welcome.
Is it assault when women says it about men?
If a woman grabs a man in that manner against their will,
if
yes,
she says it, if he didn't do it.
Oh yeah, they're talking about Trump and grabbing by the.
Because if it wasn't for that, we the people would be deceived by the head of that.
I'm pretty sure that's not all of it. Wow, I don't even know where to go.
Are you
speechless?
Are you against abortion?
Yeah.
You against abortion? Do you agree with me that women who kill children?
Anything you've said.
Do you agree with me that women who kill children in the womb are evil?
No.
Why not? Is it good to kill children in the womb?
No, but you can't just say everyone that disagrees with me is evil. People have reasons, and they might not be good reasons, and I would never support them. But in order to convince women that there is another way and to bring their children into the world, into a world.
That's so funny
love.
Because Bethany Mandel is taking the very concept I'm talking about loving all people and not judging, and she's perverted it, and she's saying, well, you can't judge these women who are killing babies. It's like, it's one thing to let's not judge people for their hearts, but then there's another thing to reveal yourself in the killing of a baby. And we know the truth. We know that a woman who's doing that, they call it abortion, killing the children in the womb, we know they're being influenced by the spirit of evil. So we even know that that's not even true, that she's evil. But we already know this. And so we know that she's being influenced by the spirit of evil, and that Satan is her daddy. So anyways, hey, what's up, Hassan? Welcome, sir. And so Bethany Mandel, conservative Jewish woman, she's here, and her mask falls, and she reveals herself to be a feminist liberal when in the presence of alpha male Jesse.
Why not?
Let's watch just a little bit more, and then I want to show you her tweet, okay?
Have you ever read the book Influencing People?
Why not? Why is it that when you tell the truth, you can't convince people to agree with you?
Why is it when you call people evil, they won't agree with you?
Why is it when you tell the truth? Why is it that when you tell the truth, you can't?
Going to listen to anything I say after that statement? Of course not.
Why is it not evil, though? I mean, why is it not? You don't get people to agree with you when you tell the truth. Killing the unborn children is an evil act. It's an evil thing, and the person that's doing it is evil.
Okay, you lost me on the second part of that.
Is that love to kill children?
No.
How should you say it then? Women who kill
Right, how
children
should you
in
say
the
it,
womb,
Bethany? How should you say it?
explain it?
That they are making a choice that is wrong, and that they will be supported in any way possible by the pro-life community, whether it be crisis pregnancy.
Yes, ladies, we're going to support you. No, we don't support women killing children. And so Bethany Mandel, she was a previous guest on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, made a tweet, which was just so interesting. This is the spirit that I'm talking about here, right here. Bethany Mandel, she says, "It's incredible to me how people keep saying Israel and its supporters don't understand there are innocent lives in Gaza as we bomb it. We have over 100 hostages there right now. Kids, women, grandmothers. We understand there is innocent life there." Wow. Wow. Dark. Do you agree or do you disagree? Call in. But I think this is pretty dark stuff. Pretty dark stuff. This woman has overreacted to horrible images that she's seen online, which are being shared by everyone. And she has drank from the cup of this angry heart and is totally just bathing in it, just drowning in it and loving it. She's like, for anyone saying there's innocent lives in Gaza, oh yeah, there are innocent lives, our hostages. You know, she's saying everybody else is not innocent. This is an area with 2 million people. This is an area where they say people very, very openly talk about how they had elections to elect Hamas in Gaza. So that means that there must have been some who voted against Hamas. How do you know that the people you're bombing, Bethany Mandel, how do you know the people you're bombing are the ones that voted for Hamas? How do you know their heart, Bethany Mandel? How is it possible, Bethany Mandel, that you're able to read the heart of every Palestinian? I didn't know you were a mind reader, Bethany Mandel, and that doesn't sound very Christian. It sounds like a Holocaust. You know what I mean? Bethany Mandel. And I'm seeing this spirit everywhere. I'm seeing this spirit going around. And this is the spirit that I've been talking about right here. And it's wearing different skins and faces, all right? It's easy to pick the Arab ones out. It's easy to pick the Palestinian ones out. They're out there yelling, "Gas the Jews," apparently. But I see a lot of people agreeing with this kind of very sneaky way of saying, let's, I don't know, commit genocide. And it's not lost on me at all that there was this horrible attack. And when there's an attack like that, there's a retaliation. Duh. It's not lost on me at all that there's going to be a ground invasion, and that Israel and that these people in Gaza, you know, what's coming is coming. But they have the methods and stuff to it's just you see my point? It's like, how do they know the hearts of every single one? Okay? How do they know the sign? And I'm seeing this spirit inside of all people, and that's why I'm seeing just craziness. I'm seeing crazy Semites on all sides, and I can't just like stand behind them in any way. So you're following me, right? You're following me. I don't know how she can judge the hearts of all people. It's quite strange. It's not very Christian. And and Bethany Mandel is basically, she's on a trip, okay? She's on a trip like many people are right now. You can't judge her for it. You can't judge her, especially she's a woman. So she's seeing all this, getting emotional. She can't judge her because she's seeing stuff like this. You know about the babies. They beheaded babies and all that. which I can't tell you if that's true or not, because I keep seeing a report that it is, it isn't, it is, it isn't. Flip flop. It is true they really did behead them. It isn't true they didn't behead them. I keep seeing flip flop reports. I think the latest in the saga is CNN International saying it's not real or it's only reports. Again, this has been such a fog of war with this baby story, even just the baby story, not considering everything else, that I can't even tell you, but I believe the latest in the saga is CNN International reporting Israel cannot confirm the specific claim that babies were beheaded in Hamas attack. But I don't know. I mean, this looks like October 12th. I mean, this looks like yesterday. Maybe someone's got the update, huh? But what a mess. Bethany Mandel, like many are tripping about the babies and about other horrible things. And I'm not gonna doubt it's. I'm not gonna doubt that it's true, the baby thing. Like I said the other day, for me that doesn't change. Like, it's a horrible thing, and those people should be stopped. But that doesn't change. Reason and still staying logical, not getting emotional. And I'm seeing videos of Palestinian children in a school with little subtitles that say, "Oh, look, they're being taught hate," and they're yelling, and then you'll see the subtitles and it's kids talking about killing Jews. And then I'll see a video of Israeli students in a Jewish school. And again, I can't speak their languages, so I don't know what they're really saying, but the subtitles all say the same thing. But this time it's the little Jewish children being taught to hate the Palestinians. Look. It says, "What is there at the place of the temple right now?" "Alaska Mosque," the children respond. "What will happen to the mosque?" "It will explode." I mean, I don't know if they're really saying this. That's another thing about propaganda. I'm about to show you an example of propaganda that just happened. But we're in a time of AI, computer-generated images. You could slap any caption on stuff. You guys need to stay clear. Because it's easy to lie on these pro apps and all that. Stay clear, level-headed. Speaking of that, though, there was a little bit of an interesting fiasco, a little saga that happened with this baby story, because the world was asking for proof. And there are many who thought, well, how dare you ask for proof? You know, if you're here waiting and asking for proof, then you're with Hamas. Right? And where is it? And so this came to a head with this story of this dead, charred baby. This was posted all over Twitter, online by different people. I think it went super viral with Ben Shapiro. And Ben Shapiro posted this image of a charred baby. I'm not going to show you, but it's like a charred body of a little baby. And the reason I'm telling you about this is because something interesting happened online where people were trying to find the truth of the validity of this charred baby story. And the reason I want to tell you about it is because, look, I really want to describe how easy it is to be fooled and how they're using technology to fool. And how people's emotions made them quick to assume amazing things. It's really fascinating. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the image, but Ben Shapiro posts this image of a charred baby. He's telling, his motivation is because he's hearing all the people who are denying atrocities over there by Hamas. And so they're saying, what was I saying? They're saying, and he wants to prove it. That's the point, right? He wants to prove it to the people who are denying it. And you can understand that notion, you know. And so when he posted it, though, if you don't know, on Twitter, now known as X.com, it has a function known as Community Notes. And Community Notes is curated by a number of users. You know, it's not special people. I believe it's just users. Like any user on Twitter can sign up to be one of these people who check Community Notes. And what they do is they go on different posts and they fact check them, especially if they're particularly lying or whatever, or if it's not evident the context. So they'll go into a post and they'll add a little community note to add context. And people were putting a community notes on Ben Shapiro's post. And the community notes said that this image of a charred baby was AI generated. And so that started off a huge fight saying, look, Shapiro's a liar, putting up AI images, putting up propaganda. But then it came out that the tool used to identify if the image was altered by AI, that was not a good tool. And so that the community notes was taken away, and a whole bunch of folks were left with egg on their faces, making claims and making accusations without knowing. Did you guys forget we're living in an age of AI and technology? Did you guys forget the media is not trustworthy? So all of a sudden the media is trustworthy. All of a sudden what you see online is just trustworthy on its face. Stay aware and stay clear, because we don't know. So, anyways, interesting saga there with the baby thing. And I'm not saying if it's real or not. I mean, from what I could tell, it is real. Now, I don't know about the beheaded babies and all that stuff. I believe the latest on that is that it's not confirmed, but that there were dead children. I believe that's a. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm putting out propaganda. The point is, if you ask me my opinion from what I've seen, I think that's real. Like dead children and all that, and rapes and whatever. But even if it's real, the babies and all that, that doesn't change what I've said this week. And it's about being measured, staying away from emotion, and not getting involved in fights that don't really have anything to do with us. Why should America take a side? You know what I mean? I wish them well, though. I wish them well. I wish the Palestinians could have a home they could call their own. It seems like they don't want to play ball. From what I could tell, it's like they keep on fighting. It seems like they too though have a like a legitimate problem with Israel, especially with all these years of, call it occupation, call it what you want. And I wish the Jews well. I wish them well because they have a strong leader. I hope to have a leader as strong as they do for America. I'm a nationalist, and I believe in home for the nation and etc. And so I appreciate that for the Jews, and it's like get it going. And you may disagree with them being there, but 100 years ago they carved up the world that way, and then these Israeli people, the state of Israel had the Yom Kippur War, a whole bunch of wars, and they had the guns and the bombs to do it. Okay, and so they proved it, whether you like it or not. I'm just saying, let's not back them. Let's not back them. Let them fight their fight. And let them prove to be in the area, prove themselves to be in the area with their guns, with their words, with whatever they have to take. Because we got to try. Our interest, American interest, is to avoid a grander war, bringing in the Arab states into the fold, Iran, Iraq, and all that. Because, like I showed you, look at these people, man. Look at these people. Look at the border of Jordan. The people of Jordan are so emotional and feeling for the Palestinians. Look at that. These are the reports are allegedly that they were able to get past the own Jordanian. They're being tear gassed by Jordanian border, according to censored men on Twitter or X.com. The Jordanian police are throwing tear gas at protesters who are attempting to cross the border into Palestine. Look at this, like. You really want to get the guns going with Iran, with these people, with all this? Like, we're talking about a serious conflict. Reuters, Jordan disperses pro-Palestinian protesters heading to border with the West Bank. Like, this is major. These are big Arab countries, okay, with guns and stuff. So, that's how I'm feeling about it. You guys know this already. I've said this week, but I really wanted to kind of further describe it. Incroyable, huh? I am taking calls, Frederick. My apologies. My phone line was muted. You can call in 760-515-3855. I'll post the number in the chat. You can call in. Okay. I mean, what are you guys thinking? What are y'all thinking? What y'all saying? I'm in the chat. We're also in the cockpit. Oh, I paused it. You're not supposed to be able to pause real life. I just ruined everyone's immersion. Wow, we've been talking for that long. I think we have to like get ready to land. Oh no, we got to get down to 15,000 feet right away, folks. So if you feel a little lurch in the plane, just snap your seatbelt on, buckle yourself in. We're not going to do one of those death dives I do every now and then when, you know, sometimes we have to do these death dives into the horizon so that we can at least get to the correct altitude so that we can land. But we don't have to do, I hope we don't have to do such a thing today. It's looking like we might make it. I think I see the airport in the distance. Washington, D.C., folks, we might in fact have to do a death dive. We might have to bomb down to 10,000 feet. I just got too excited taking the calls, doing the show. My apologies. Folks, I'm going to need you to put your seatbelts on. Yep, I'm going to need your seatbelts on, folks. We're going to need to do a little death dive here. So strap in. Ladies and flight attendants, please strap in because we're taking a dive. Let's go. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Hold on, folks. I know it's a lot of G-force. Calm down, calm down. Buckle up. I know the plane feels like it's about to break up. We're almost there. I know it's shaking a lot. We're shaking a lot. I know. Call. Folks, we're almost there. Calm down. Oh no! Too many G-force. Trump Force 1 is about to break apart. All right, folks, 14,000 feet, 13,000 feet, 12,000 feet. We're about to level out, folks. Calm down. Okay. Whew. All right, our autopilot is on. Speed brakes are on. Let's slow the plane down. Get the autopilot back on here, folks. All right, we are safe. Folks, thank you for that. Thank you for that, folks.
Memphis nigga everywhere I go. Memphis nigga everywhere I go. Memphis nigga everywhere I go. They get it. Memphis nigga everywhere I go. They get it. Memphis nigga everywhere I go.
All right. Callers, call in 760-515-3855. The seatbelt sign is back off. Why are Nick's shows always a hot mess? I don't know. That's an A. All right, y'all. All right. I see the airport in the distance. Did we really have that long of a show? How long have we been talking? Wow. We flew out of Memphis, so this song is thematic. All right, I got a caller on the air. Your name and where are you calling from?
This is Zeus with the Juice from Florida.
What's up, Zeus with the Juice? What's up, sir?
Not
Welcome.
much. How
Thank
you
you
doing?
for calling.
I feel like so I've tried not to pay attention to all this stuff that's going on with Israel and Palestine.
Fair enough.
But it's
Based.
everywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like even on Twitter, you'll be trying to like just scroll and see whatever you see, right? And
yes,
all this stuff pops up.
You
and
get
I feel like for me,
like bloody, horrible images, stuff I don't want to
you
see.
you get that, but you also get everyone calling for blood.
Yes.
And I think we talked about this on both sides. And I feel like it's been the kind of thing where it's I told you so kind of type of thing. Because for a while I've been saying Ben Shapiro is evil. And I've been saying conservatives are evil. And And like I just been getting proved on it. Like I just seeing the stuff like Ben Shapiro's been calling for and saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think it proves my point. Like I saw something where he wanted the Palestinian people to be eradicated,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's evil.
He
I've
said
seen
that?
Jordan
No
Peterson-
way.
Yeah,
I don't.
he said
I'm not
something
saying I
about-
don't believe it. I just haven't seen it. That's crazy. If you said that, that sounds messed up. It's the same as all this other stuff I've been describing. But what do you think is evil about that? What is it about Ben Shapiro talking like that? What is it that makes it evil?
I think with Ben Shapiro specifically is, like you said, he's posting this stuff that may not be factually based, like the burnt baby.
Yeah.
And you said that might have gotten debunked. I saw the commentator's line at the bottom where it said it was AI. I haven't seen that it got debunked.
Okay.
And then
did you see how they determined that that image was AI?
I didn't see how they did. I just read the little notification thing under it.
So the way they determined that photo that Ben Shapiro posted was AI was the people in the community notes. They fed that image through through one of these. You can Google it. You can Google like AI detector or something like that, and you can upload a photo into these AI detectors, and these AI detectors will tell you if the image you uploaded is doctored by AI or not. The problem is these aren't accurate. I could put in images of like real photos of real people and it'll tell me it's AI. And so that's why they took down the community notes, because the way they figured that was AI was kind of dubious, to be fair. And it really, I mean, just on that saga with that particular picture, people got fooled and, in my opinion, got into thinking it was AI.
Well, I saw different things about it. I saw one where it said the original picture was like a dog instead of
I saw that one
baby.
too. The dog picture was posted on 4chan, and it was posted by an anonymous person claiming to be working with ComSat, or their person's dad works with the government. And the image was the same charred baby image, but instead of a charred baby, it was a dog.
It was a dog.
I don't know if
like
you saw. I don't know if you saw the people, Photoshop experts able to determine that was a photoshopped picture.
The way I see it is, who knows what the so-called experts say. You know what I mean? Everything can be, whoever pays them is what they're going to say. But then there's another example with Ben. He's talking about some girl that essentially she was at, I think, some concert when they got attacked. And then like the Palestinians had video of her like dead, and they're spitting on her dead body, and the mom is crying. And Ben Shapiro pointed this out and said how evil they are. And then like 2 days later, the mom's like, no, she's still alive.
Right, that woman, that German woman who was at the Nova Festival, a lot of people believed she was found dead and all that. But this is what I was saying about jumping on bandwagons and jumping on emotion.
Another one who's like a conservative, so-called conservative.
Yes.
Who I think this exposed him, Charlie Kirk. I saw a few things with him. I saw one where he's posting a video of Palestinians, I think, driving through England, talking about like some hot mess about like R-wording, Jewish women, this and that. And it's like a video from like 2 years ago. And then people in the comments are like, that's from 2 years ago. And he's like, even if it's 2 years ago, it still remains the same. It's still true. And it's like, why are you using that to piss people off and get people to turn against each other? Yeah. And then another thing I saw, and it was from Rattlesnake TV, who was on, I think, the Ball and State, like a month ago. He did a video where Charlie Kirk was at a college campus, and believe it or not, a conservative getting owned by college students. And that tripped me out, because whenever I see a video of conservatives at like a college campus, they're the ones owning the college kids. And in this video, the college kids were owning Charlie Kirk. And to me, it exposes it, man. It's like, and your first caller, Scott, the guy did a great call. He said a lot of good stuff, especially when he said like the names people call each other, infidel, this and that. And it goes back to what I say, all of them are evil. Conservatives are evil. Liberals are evil. If you choose a side, you're evil. And I think you're not saying exactly that, but what you're saying is stay measured, right? Don't pick a side. And I think when you claim to be conservative, or when you claim to be liberal, or when you claim to be one of these things, they're going to use things to like polarize you and make you be on a side. So if you're conservative, Ben Shapiro's going to use these videos to get you polarized so you hate the other side. Or if you're liberal, they're going to have whatever they have to polarize you. And it's all a game by evil people to manipulate, I guess, dumb people or simple people, or whatever you want to call them. And the best thing you could do is, like you said, stay measured. Kind of stay out of it. If you want to call yourself a Christian, I don't care, right? Do that. I personally don't believe that being a Christian makes you good. I personally don't believe like I do believe a lot of Christians are evil, and that's my opinion, right? I'm not saying
Right.
that's fact. There are good people that call themselves Christians. I'm not saying you're evil, but all I'm saying is when you claim to be one side, they're going to use it against you. And I don't know if you're familiar with the 7 Hermetic principles.
No.
Well, one of them is the principle of polarity, and I won't read the whole thing, but essentially, it essentially says that like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet, all truths are but half truth, all paradoxes can be reconciled. And essentially, what it's saying is like, liberal, conservative, you're the same, you're just different degrees. And they're both evil, in my opinion.
That's
And I just
fascinating.
feel
Is
like-
it almost kind of like how happiness and sadness is evil? They're two sides of
Yeah.
the same deception.
Yeah, hot and cold, the same thing. It's just different degrees. And that's why I feel like, I don't know, you shouldn't just jump on a bandwagon. You shouldn't just, if someone you listen to that's conservative talking head says to believe something, you shouldn't just jump on the bandwagon and start believing it. What you should do is remain measured, calm. And I personally don't believe like how these people like that. I didn't watch Fallen State, but from what I heard, this one guy, the Muhammad Ali, I guess, and like all the stuff people were saying about him, how like they use the Quran to justify stuff. And you were saying, I think that they're kind of an intellectual religion, and they use these books to prove them right, or they use whatever to support their case. I feel like all sides do that, and I feel like you're not going to get God from a book. You're not going to get God from the church.
No,
you're not going to get God
You're
from.
going to get a God in the YouTube algorithm.
You might. You're not going to get God from like some talking head. God is within you. If you want God, just be quiet, go within, and God will speak to you. And when you claim that your religion has God, is when you become evil, because no one religion has exclusive access to God. God is not in Christianity. God is not in Judaism. God is not in being a Muslim. God is within everybody. And that's why I just think all these different things, especially when they claim it, that's when they become evil. And when you say that the only way you get to God is by believing in Jesus and making him your so-called savior, that's evil, because that's not how you get to God. And that's my opinion, right? I'm not saying that's fact, but what I'm saying
I think
is
people
this is how-
misunderstand that notion in the first place. Oh, the only way to the Father is through the Son, through Jesus. They think that means you need to call yourself Christian, but like you're saying, how many people call themselves Christian and they're evil? It's about the heart. And I think that implies that there might be people who don't know that they have a Christian heart because they don't call it that.
Maybe. But how many people call themselves Christians? Like you showed this clip, I think this week, where that I think Christian pastor, I don't remember his name, but he's like, we need to make Palestine a parking lot or whatever. It's like you believe in so-called Jesus, but you want to kill all these people because of this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that's kind of hypocritical, and
it's strange.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It is very strange.
It's in these moments, and it doesn't sound Christian to me because it doesn't. It's like I don't think you could say love all people and not go into emotions. But when it's really bad, when it's like when we get attacked, though, we can throw that all out the window. You know what I mean? No, it's in those in the toughest of times that you have to, stay true to, like the difficulty of forgiveness and all that. You know what I'm saying here?
And that's, I think, again, the most important or the most profound thing about Jesus. Forgive. You know what I mean? Everyone screws up. Everyone makes mistakes. And I'm not saying to forgive these people who committed these atrocities. What I'm saying is just like,
even them.
Don't
I
go
say
in there with
yes.
anger.
I say even forgive them.
I mean, to an extent, sure. I agree with you on that. But that's the thing, is like everyone's so willing to hate, and I don't know. The thing with Christianity that I just think is stupid is when people say, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior, therefore now I can do whatever I want. And let's say I mess up next week, I go and I don't know, let's say I bomb a country. All I gotta do is ask for forgiveness and I'm good, I'm going to heaven, son, regardless of how many people I killed. And it's just, to me, that's that's not the way to go about it, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, right?
Interesting stuff there, Zeus. Well, thank you for that. Very
Also,
level-headed.
I don't believe the Bible is the Word of God. And I think anyone who goes to the Bible looking for God is going to be sadly disappointed and manipulated. But hey, you do you.
Right on, Zeus.
Right?
Yeah, I found God in the YouTube algorithm.
Did you really? Or are you just saying that as a joke?
No, I'm not joking, man. Like, I was an atheist, And well, basically I'm an atheist, right? And then I've said this story before, but basically I'm an atheist. Years ago, I see Trump run for president. I see the world go nuts. And the only logical conclusion I could make is that it was evil, because I had friends of mine who just went totally nuts. They never talked about Trump in their lives, and they're suddenly like all nuts about it. And I'm like, there's only one explanation. It's pure evil. And so if there's evil, that means there's good, blah, blah, blah. The point is, when I'm saying I found God in the YouTube algorithm, is after that happened, I found Jesse in my YouTube sidebar. I found his church videos and all that. I mean, these days you're more likely to find God on YouTube and in your own room than in a church. I guess that's true. So were you atheist like growing up? No, my family, they're Christian, but I rejected all that pretty young, pretty early, because I saw that, and I saw like a deep hypocrisy in all of them. And I knew when I was younger, I knew this was wrong. And to me, that proved to me that Christianity was a lie, but I had jumped the gun as a young intellectual. I had jumped the gun, overreacted to the hypocrisy of my own family, thinking that Christianity and God himself didn't exist. And you know what's funny though? What made me finally take the dive? I was suspecting that for years as a kid. Well, first of all, I completely rejected the church, and I became so impossible to take to church that, they would leave me back. The point is though, I ended up rejecting it, and internally I was like, I'm not so sure about all this. But the first time I vocalized it and I said I don't believe in God, it was because of a girl. She was pretty cute, and we were in school, and all it took was for her to say I don't believe in God once, and I was like, yep, me too. I'm an atheist. Hey, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing with you. Hey, you know how you said you found God in the algorithm? Yeah. What do you think that was? Do you think that was God showing you God, or do you think it was like a random coincidence, or what do you think it was? That's cool. I like that. That's God reaching out to me. I think that's pretty powerful. That yeah, I agree with you. That is God reaching out and showing you 100%. And I feel like that's the power of God. You're not going to find him in a book. God will reach out to you, and it's up to you to see that and find him. And if you do, I don't know, whatever happened to you, apparently you had your hero's journey, and here you are doing the next stream. And I don't know, a lot of people listen to your show and enjoy it. And that's crazy. I don't know, isn't it amazing how God works? It's wild. Yeah. But I'll let you turn the wheels. Shout out to the Snake Pit, and shout out to the Pharaoh of LA, Frederick, and shout out to Artie Art. I enjoy their calls, and usually they say pretty good stuff. But anyway, have a good night, and enjoy your weekend, sir. Take care, Zeus. Appreciate your call. Call me again. Nice. Folks, have we really been having this long of a show? How long have we been streaming? We gotta land. Kick back, relax. We're really close. Hold on. Be right back.
Straight like that, my nigga. Rest in peace, chick, nigga. Raiders, nigga. All in this bitch, nigga. Possess, bitch, I'm fine. Look in my eyes. Why should I lie? Possess, bitch, I'm fine. Look in my eyes. Why should I lie? Possess, bitch, I'm fine. Look in my eyes. Why should I lie? Possess, bitch, I'm fine. Look in my eyes. Why should I lie? These fucking niggas who be talking hella shit.
having some serious issues here with the plane, folks. My apologies. We're rocking back and forth, and I'm not sure what's making it do this. So we're going to have an interesting landing, but we're almost there. Washington, D.C., we got the president on board. He's got to make sense of the whole thing. He's got to make sense of everything that's going on. He's got to fix the country. I think we can do it, though. I think we can land. Man, I wanted to play Hassan. Hassan gave me a copyright strike. What's up, Life Enjoyer? Have you ever joined us for the Friday Nick Stream shows? Life Enjoyer in the chat. If you've ever caught one of these shows, well, welcome. This is your first one, maybe. All right, folks, getting ready for that landing.
I'ma find peace now. Every time they wanna hold me down, look up to the sky and scream loud. Going by the sunrise, sunrise. I'ma find peace, yeah. Drop everything and leave, yeah. Light shining down on me, yeah. Going by the sunrise, sunrise. Knocking on the door, so you gotta let me in. Feeling brand new, so we gon' start again. We was lukewarm, now we gon' full 10. Full 10, full 10. Knocking on the door, so you gotta let me in. We was lukewarm, now we gon' full 10. Feeling brand new, so we gon' start again. And again, and again. Who did say you can't be free? Who did say this isn't me? Who did say this ain't a dream? You don't know what I see.
Folks, folks, we landed in Washington, D.C. A little bit of a spicy landing, but we did it. Amazing. Folks, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have arrived in Washington, D.C. We are in Ronald Reagan International Airport. The local time is 9:39 p.m. Whew, a little bit of a spicy flight there, but we did land, folks. You know, we always have fun on these flights here. And we do appreciate you flying Trump Force One today. A little bit of a special flight. Now, hey, sit down. Oh, my God. This is my pet peeve. When people start getting up before the plane has even stopped. Did anybody say get up? Did anybody? Okay, calm down. You're talking to customers. Calm down. You're talking to customers. Folks, if you could please have a little bit of decency and wait till the plane is stopped before you get up. Our lovely flight attendants will be there to help you with any connecting flights and information you may need. And before you open up the overhead compartments, please make sure that you check before opening it willy-nilly, as the contents of said compartment may have shifted in this particularly spicy landing. Otherwise, though, we do appreciate your continued patronage here on Nick Stream on Anchorbaby Airlines. You continue, and we continue to appreciate it. So thank you for flying Nick Stream. Until the next one, folks, thank you. This is your captain, American Anchorbaby. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'm very grateful for the calls and the support. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Over there, what's up, D Live? First time doing Nick Stream on D Live, inaugural D Live flight. I'm very grateful for all those supporting me over there. I know I had super chats today and I didn't really get to them. My apologies. But thank you, Covey Clown, with the back-to-back super chat saying the world is a vampire. Happy jihad. World War III. Coming. Interview Adam Green. Thank you, Covey Clown. Looking into it. Hake Report with the behind-the-scenes super chat. Hillary T coming in strong with the super chat earlier. Carver531, thank you for that. Says Ali wore indoor baseball cap. all I need to know. Talking about the Fallen State guest. And Renee with the super chat says, what's your favorite cheese, Nick? Mine is cheese. That's funny. My favorite cheese. I don't know if I have one. Thank you, Renee, and all super chatters. I know you enjoyed your first class seats because our lovely flight attendants, even though I may not have mentioned it, they went right up to you and sat you in your first class seat. Man, Birdie Bound Brian coming in strong with the last second super chat there. First class ticket from Birdie Bound Brian. You can have one in the next flight, sir. Air Marshal Birdie Bound Brian says, I'm laying the smackdown on anybody standing up before our captain speaks. Thank you, Air Marshal Birdie Bound Brian. Keeping the law in the air. And Karen Williams, the lovely Karen Williams, the loveliest, our flight attendant, Karen Williams, with a super chat there, says, Nick, your show is getting better by the week. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. Jealous, LOL. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Karen. Much appreciated, y'all. What can I say, folks? I'm grateful. We're going to get back. We're going to do more Nick Stream, more American Anchorbaby, more Bond Network. Beautiful things happening. I'm excited. I'm grateful. See y'all on Sunday. We got rebuildingdemand.com/church. Don't miss it. And what else, y'all? Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I shall see you Sunday and Monday. Take care, y'all. Peace.